Hello and welcome to the Keep It Local Maine podcast, where we tell the stories of local business owners and Maine residents and learn more about what they do, who and what inspires them, their challenges, successes, and more. My name is Todd Regalinski.
And I am Kimberly Regalinski.
And we are the publishers of Keep It Local Maine, a local magazine that helps showcase local businesses to the people in and around their communities. Thank you for tuning in to our weekly podcast that you can subscribe to on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can learn more about us at keepitLocalMaine.com and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram through the links in the show notes.
This episode is sponsored by Fabian Oil, a family-owned and operated business that offers heating oil and propane delivery, services, and repairs. Fabian has been serving central and northern Maine with propane and oil for over 30 years. As a local Maine business, they cherish the relationships they have formed by serving the people of their communities. In 2019, Fabian entered the southern Maine region with a heating oil acquisition, and they have recently brought propane to the market. They are aggressive and would love to be your supplier. Give them a call at 207-793-2044 or visit fabianoil.com.
In this episode, we'll be talking with Kylee Austin and Gina Martinez from Riverwinds Farm and Estate. Riverwinds Farm and Estate is an event venue and horse farm owned and operated by the Austin family. In 2013, the family began offering equine services and programs through Thornton Academy. Since 2017, they've hosted events, weddings, as well as self-sponsored events like live music shows, comedy, dinner theater, and holiday festivities. They've also expanded their horse training facility to include boarding and horse shows in the stable and arena. Kylee joined her mother Beth in the family business as a teenager. As an avid horsewoman, she currently manages the horse arena and boarding services at Riverwinds. Gina's many years of hospitality and dining service management, along with her lengthy experience in event management, make her a perfect fit to oversee events at Riverwinds. She has been in the hospitality industry her whole life, working in small family-owned restaurants as well as large brand hotels.
Welcome to the show, Kylee and Gina. Thanks for coming.
Hi there.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. We're so glad that you're here today. We're excited to learn about Riverwind Farms. I wanted to ask, how did Riverwind go from being a home hobby farm to what it is now? And what are some of the things that you guys offer there?
Well, Riverwind started out as a family horse farm. We moved here when I was 4 years old. So we had about 2 horses when we first moved here, and then filled the barn with goats and sheep and all sorts of fun stuff. And that was just a love of taking care of animals and being on the land with this awesome piece of property that we have. And then life went on, and my dad passed away when I was 12. So my mom and my brother and I were kind of left here on the farm to figure out what we wanted to do and what direction to take it in. So we started as boarding out other people's horses and kind of growing the farm, making our own hay and just doing some of those cool farm things. And then as we grew up, and we had like 36 horses here at one point. So that's a big love of mine and my mom's.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And my brother loves machinery. So he got to do the tractors and all that stuff. Well, me and my mom rode our horses.
Not a bad deal.
Yeah, it was pretty cool way to grow up. And then, so it's hard to make a profit off of horses and such. And we have all this land and thought it would be cool to kind of share it with others. So we kind of shifted, decided to go with doing events. And we've always kind of thought of doing horse events. And then somebody posed the idea of weddings to us and corporate events and other things like that. And so we ended up we built an indoor riding arena. I think it's about 8 years ago now. So we had 2 barns with horse operations for a little while. And we're doing some horse events and clinics over at the indoor arena. And then once we decided to really go into the wedding aspect, we totally remodeled one of the original horse barn, which is like built in the 1800s. It was originally a cattle barn way back. And then our family originally remodeled it for the horses. And then we totally gutted it all out and went and made it into a beautiful rustic event barn. And then
it's beautiful.
Thank you. So the other aspect, we still have the indoor going, and then we've been kind of growing both sides and seeing what works and how to accommodate this area and what we have and really grow the community and bring more business to this area. So it's been definitely an adventure.
Yeah,
sounds like it.
It's so cool to see. It sounds like, you guys just looked at that as a way to also just kind of give back to the community, because it is a beautiful property, and it's just such an asset to the community. Can you tell us about the property itself? It sits on how many acres? What are some of the structures on the property? I know there's a beautiful house actually that people can actually rent out too.
Yep. So we have 160 acres, and we are right on the Saco River.
Wow.
So that is beautiful. We also have a pond on site, so that's right in the backyard. We have a 8-bedroom house that sleeps up to 16, and that we do offer that for wedding packages as well as through the VRBO rentals for some midweek rentals, as well as weekends are mostly booked up through weddings in the busy season. And then we also offer throughout the winter the VRBO rentals with the house. And then there's the event barn, and that has a deck off of it. And then we have a indoor riding arena that has a 100 by 80 by 90 foot riding arena.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Lots of cool structures and lots of opportunities to host events.
Yeah,
that's great.
And so Gina, you're kind of more involved. You're involved in the events and hospitality end of this. I mean, how do you, what are some of the things that kind of get offered through all those spaces for weddings and events?
Yeah, so like Kylee said, it is a beautiful rustic event barn. The primary function we currently cater to is the weddings. And our season gets booked up pretty quick. We have a lot of offerings that come in our packages. For instance, we're one of the event barns that comes fully furnished with tables and chairs for not only the reception and dining, but we also have ceremony chairs and the choice of 3 different ceremony arbors.
Oh, wow.
And that would take away from folks having to rent those for their event. We also have a prop room, which is a lot of fun. The prop room is full of antiques and decorative items and lanterns. And we have games for cornhole and volleyball that we can set up for certain events. Offering corporate events here is one of the newer types of offerings we'd like to do, because we do have the house and we have lots of space for them to be able to spread out and have maybe a team building event outdoors, have a catered meal indoors, sleeping arrangements if some of the folks are not from the immediate area. So there's just so much we can do here. And I'm looking forward into tapping into some of the other opportunities for different types of events that we've had here that are besides the weddings. We've had anniversary parties, we've had family reunions, we had a retirement party, birthday parties, baby showers, bridal showers. Like Kylee said, the house is an 8-bedroom, 4.5 bathroom house. It accommodates up to 16 people. And the property is amazing. The sunsets are spectacular. We have fire pits. We can set up s'mores bars for the guests. We offer catering, both food and beverage, right here on site. Some of our catering is done through our preferred vendors. Smaller events we can handle ourselves.
Wow.
It is quite the property. The day I came here to check it out when I was being interviewed for the job, I felt like I was on an episode of HGTV. And I said, this is my job. I have to be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I've
Yeah.
seen the property, and it is absolutely breathtaking. It's definitely an experience just to even be there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just powerful. It's just got such great energy. So it's just a really you walk in and you just feel at peace. It's just one of those places that you just feel peaceful, just surrounded by just the trees and all the acreage. And like you said, I mean, I imagine the sunsets are just amazing.
And there's lots for people to do here. People that come here for weddings, more than 60% of them are coming from out of state. And they come here, they can hike, they can walk the property. We've had actually a family do a 5K event right on the property.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, we have kayaks, so they can go down to the river and paddle around. Wow. They can bring paddle boards. We have, in the wintertime, we have folks that can cross-country ski here. Mm-hmm. Right on site. Wow. So there's lots for
something
people
for
to
everybody.
Do.
Yeah, and adding on to more winter activities too, we have the snowmobile trail, if we have snow, goes right through the property as well. So people that are renting could also bring their own snowmobiles and connect right to the trails from the property.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And that's also another thing is in the other months, the warmer months, a lot of times we go out and ride horses on the trails too. So as well as people that have done the 5Ks. So there's something for everyone here on the property.
That's so cool.
As well as just in the area too. We're located right 5 minutes off the interstate and only 25 minutes to Portland. So a lot of those people that are coming here from out of state looking to host their wedding or other events have lots of resources in the area for people to stay and attractions just to do around here, which I think is great for us.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, totally. And I just want to make sure you understand how high a praise that was from Kim about the surroundings, because Kim is not exactly a nature person. So for her to be that effusive in her praise of it is really something. Yeah. Because she can get a little nervous if there's too much nature.
I don't like to get too much nature on me. That property has just the right amount of nature, I feel like.
It's the right balance of nature for you. That's a good way to put it.
I'm with you, Kim. I'm a city girl, and we had chickens, we had pigs, and I use had because now they're in the freezer.
Well, that's a good turn.
Let's see, what else, Kylie? Coyotes, deer.
Wow.
I did a tour once for a family that was looking to host a wedding, and a snake ran right between my legs down the stairs.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Farm.
It's a farm.
Farm life.
That's legitimacy though. When you're doing like barn weddings and stuff like that. Like, hey, look how legit this is. I mean, there's wildlife everywhere.
Yeah.
It's great.
They love it too.
I imagine, yeah. So I have Kylie, I have a question for you, because it's kind of an odd sort of situation. Not because I mean you kind of grew up in this home and now it's the family business. I mean, how does that work for you? I mean, how do you feel about that, and how has that been? What are the pluses and kind of minuses of that?
Well, it's definitely been strange. I will be honest about that, but it's also been pretty awesome because I get to work with my family and. We all have our little aspect in our love for, like, we have so many different segments to the business where we're doing events, but me and my mom still go out and ride our horses every day. So we're all right here on our little family combine working together and figuring out the best way to keep this growing and keep it sustainable for us. It's definitely different when I used to look out the window and see alpacas in the backyard, and now there's arbors and flowers, and it's pretty neat, but it's different. Going from it being such a crazy farm to a really beautiful, beautiful venue, which is awesome. And I think we've really found the potential that the property has and really emphasized on that. And I'm definitely happy with the direction that we're going in. And we've put together a really great team that's really helped us be able to grow. But yeah, there's definitely moments that it's hard, as I'm sure anyone working in a family business knows that. And especially the aspect that it's your home and your family business it's trying at times.
Yeah, I imagine it's almost like if you went back to like your childhood home after having moved and someone has done a bunch of changes to it, except that you've been there the entire time.
And you've seen all the changes. Yeah, it's different when, your friends go home visit their parents for the weekend and it's just the same home. But nope, mine's different all the time. But it's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. That's exciting.
But mine, there's a big wedding happening.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been great. Like my friends and family have been so helpful with the journey, like coming over, helping bar back when we have events and cleaning up after. It's been really, I think, brought us all even closer and given us so much to do, and snowmobiling through the backyard or hauling empty cans over after a wedding. They've done it all.
That's so cool.
That's great.
Awesome. So I have a question for you, Gina. You've had a lot of experience in the hospitality industry, working for others and owning your own venue. How did that prepare you for working in starting that career at Riverwind?
Well, back in the 80s, a very long time ago, I did work for a family-run restaurant. The folks were from the Netherlands. It was in Derry, New Hampshire. And it was a beautiful restaurant near the Robert Frost Farm. It was called Promises to Keep. And I started out waiting tables in their dining room. And it was a very upscale restaurant. We did a lot of tableside preparation. We make Caesar salads by the table. We used to do flambe work by the table, desserts, shrimp scampi. It was quite the experience. I was 18 years old. So they basically took me in and taught me the ropes. We had a big function hall added onto the back, and they started doing little corporate luncheons and then started doing some big events, weddings. So I was able to get some experience working for the family back then in the 80s. I did deviate out of that type of hospitality and moved into healthcare hospitality, as well as the nightclub that I had back in the day. And when I came back here to Riverwinds, when I started over here, it was like riding a bike. I really just had to get up with the times a little bit, see what was happening in the wedding industry. And fortunately, I had some great people with me to support me, and it kind of all fell into place. And we're always evolving. COVID has taught us that we had to be able to evolve. And also when it comes to the clients, not every wedding is the same, and everybody wants their own unique twist on it, or they want special, whether it's decorations or special food offerings, or even, like I said, the games set up in the yard. It's fun working with each client. So it's not like just working in a restaurant and here's the menu and we pretty much do the same routine all the time. So it's a little different in that, but it's been very rewarding, and I've made a lot of new friends along the way. They keep in touch, some of the clients that have had their wedding events here, and they're very appreciative, and that's the end game.
Yeah. That's great. It sounds like, just hearing you describe that, I love to be able to create. And so it sounds like your job even has that part of being able to create every wedding. And it's going to be so cool because, like you said, it's never the same. It's not just, it's always new and something new that you can do each time.
Yeah, it's like a craft. It's every chair that you're hand making is different. Every wedding is going to be a little bit different because I would imagine you're using some things you're kind of doing the same, but then I imagine there's also things that you're kind of tweaking as you go along in many ways. So that's really cool. I might have to change careers.
You want to be a wedding planner, Todd?
Oh no, not a planner. No, I'll just do the tasks. That's all.
Be a mystery bartender one night.
That would be me. Yeah. I actually have some experience. It's kind of funny when you mentioned the idea of
we both do
bringing
actually.
Those experience, like riding a bike and coming back to that. there's some experiences that I think are skills that you learn that you kind of feel like the basics are just there. Like after waiting tables for years, I feel like I could go back and do that. I would just need to know, like, okay, how does a computer system work? How's it different than what I know?
It's one of those things.
But I could go up to tables and talk to them, just as easily, It's kind of cool to have those skills.
Yeah. I think that's, a good representation of the service industry. It teaches you a lot about how to deal with people. So that's one thing that I've definitely learned through like being a server and a bartender and working in that industry is social skills. And really it's, helped me become a little bit more extroverted because I am quite an introvert, but waiting tables helped and bartending helps.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Yeah. I get to even bartend at our weddings. We all wear quite a few hats. So
that's
nice.
Awesome. So let me ask you this, Kylee. Actually, I'm going to ask you both this question. But Kylee, maybe you can go first. What is the most important lesson that you've learned so far in business?
I would have to say adaptability. And just being able to change and like I said, wear different hats and change. We started out just doing horses and then tried to build off that, realized that might not be the best thing for us. Still love it, still do it in some aspect, but have now been able to adapt and grow to do events. And then now COVID, how do we get around that? Adapt and, it's
I like that.
Yeah. Definitely adaptability, change.
That's great.
Yeah.
What would you say, Gina?
Well, I agree with Kylee, and I had flexibility and ability to adapt. But there's one, if I had to say an important lesson, and I've told this to like maybe some of the younger folks who've either worked for me or I see struggle sometimes in business. I say, sometimes you can plan in your head on a piece of paper, in a computer note, exactly how things have to move and get from point A to B and what the outcome looks like. And sometimes I think people get so stuck on the plan that they don't enjoy what's actually happening. And even though the outcome was great and everything worked out perfectly, they get hung up on the plan.
Yep.
We could sit here and plan out an event, whether it's a wedding or an anniversary or a bar mitzvah, and say we're going to do this at this time and this at that time, and then the cake, and then we're going to do dancing. And you just have to be prepared for and roll with it as things change and go into another direction. Maybe the weather does something that changes the plan. Maybe the host, the bride, decides, I don't want to do that. I've had that happen where a bride says, you know what, we're not even going to cut the cake. I don't want to do the cake. Okay, we're not doing the cake. You just have to be able to don't get hung up on a plan.
Right.
Just know that things may change during the course of the event. And as long as you have a beautiful, successful outcome, then that's really the important part.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yep.
Yeah, I think that always, for everything, even if you're just going out for a night or something like that, having that flexibility of like, oh, hey, this is cool. This, this wasn't the plan, but all right, this could be fun, or, having that ability to improvise is so helpful just to lower the stress level, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Right.
To roll with it, to be able to roll with the changes.
Yeah.
It's huge.
So one of the questions, this is kind of one of our questions we like to ask everybody, mostly because it's interesting to us, and we hope it's interesting to listeners. It may or may not be, but it's always interesting to us.
Yeah.
So how would you each define success?
Oh boy, that's honestly a tough question. I guess I would say happiness. Like if you love what you're doing and every day go home and say, oh, I'm happy, then I feel like that's success, and just being content in what you get to do every day and being able to set goals and things like that.
Yeah.
That's a really tough question.
That's huge. No, it is huge though. I mean, to be able to love what you do and actually enjoy it. I mean, how many people can actually say that they do that?
I think not. I don't know. Everyone has such a different opinion on what success is, and really don't put happiness or their own health before that.
How about you, Gina?
Well, I'm older than Kylie, so I can tell you that I used to see success as where I was in, the hierarchy of, say, the organization and how much responsibility I was entrusted with. And
Mm-hmm.
bottom line is how much the payday was, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's what you work for. But now I have to agree with Kylie that I love what I do. And when I go home at night, I'm happy and I want to come back.
Mm.
And I feel good about it. This job has really taken me to a different place in my life. A lot of my stress actually
Mm-hmm.
has diminished, even though you say,
Mm-hmm.
wow, you're having an event, and what about the bride, and what if this goes wrong, or how do you deal with someone who's not happy with how their event's turning out? But I really see every event as a challenge. And
Mm.
when we're sitting there at the end of the night and everybody's gone home and everyone's happy and thanking us, it really feels good.
Mm.
And another part that I really feel good about is getting referrals and
Mm-hmm.
getting that word of mouth contact. We've been getting a lot of that lately, and that really feels good. I had a
Yeah.
bride write to me the other day saying, I want to tour your venue for my wedding in 2022. I attended a retirement party in 2019.
Wow.
Or my cousin told me she was at a music show at your venue and venue shopping for my wedding. I love it. Whenever it comes to us like that,
Mm.
Mm.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's also good to hear that, it's good to get the first person feedback, but then when you get it, like it's coming to you from, by way of this
Yeah,
person, then it's like, wow, that's really
That's a
great.
huge compliment. It's a
Yeah.
huge compliment to what you do. And it's definitely got to feel like a win for sure.
Another question that we do like to ask is who or what inspires you?
For me, I would have to say my mom. She is an incredible woman and is super creative and just friendly and awesome, and somebody that I have always looked up to. So she really just has taught me a lot through life, and I really look up to her and what she's done here with the property and how she's grown this business. And I admire her. So that is definitely who inspires me every day.
Mm.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Makes my heart happy.
How about you, Gina?
Well, I again have to agree. Beth Austin is an inspiration. She had a vision and she does what it takes to make it happen here with us.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked for a lot of business people, whether it's a small family run business or a corporate run business. And it's really great when the family is actually involved and into it.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see Beth here working alongside us. Again, both Kylie and her brother Reeve, whatever I need, it happens. And I feel great support from all three of them. They're all connected and involved. And I also get great inspiration from the teams of vendors that come on site because I don't
Mm.
pick them. The brides pick them, the grooms pick them, the clients pick them. They choose who they want to cater their event or be their DJ
Mm-hmm.
or do the photography. So I get to meet all these different people. And it's comforting to know that everybody's doing their little
Mm.
some parts that I know nothing about. I don't know how to DJ. I don't know how to be the photographer, but it's all just happening simultaneously with
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing, and it's all coming out in the end. You get maybe a digital catalog from the bride and groom of their event, and you get to see things after the fact. I didn't see them getting ready in the bridal suite or having drinks in the man cave. I didn't see some of the things that were going on while I was setting up their event. So to get to see all that after
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
is
So
it's
cool.
so awesome. And
Yeah.
they share that with us. I love that. Reading their reviews after on Google or Wedding Wire. I love to hear what they really think and feel. Of course, sometimes we get cards. I got a Christmas card with a special note or just a little postcard after the wedding with the picture of the happy couple. It's just so cool. And
That's
it makes
awesome.
you want to get out and do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is so cool. So we always like to ask this question kind of at the end here because we love Maine. We love everything about Maine. And so we want to know, what is your favorite part of living in Maine? What are some of the things that you love about Maine?
For me, I would definitely say how diverse the land is and how you can go to the beach, you can go to the lake, and like just here in Saco, you're downtown and then you take 5-minute drive and you're here at River Winds. And a lot of people have said like when they come here, they don't even feel like they're in Maine because 15 minutes ago they were at the beach and now they're at this beautiful country landscape. And we're really lucky to be able to have such beautiful land that we live on with the woods and then just so many different landscapes to see. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, we really are lucky. How about you, Gina?
Okay, well, for me, I came up here in 1990 from Boston. And I remember thinking that every morning when I woke up, I felt like I was on vacation because the smell, the sounds were so different. Living in the city, I'd hear the train, the airport, the bus line, those type of noises. And it's just a different vibe and a different smell. And I used to joke around to people and say, I feel like I'm on vacation, except I still have to do laundry. And and so I've been here since 1990. And it wears off after a while because you just become part of the Maine culture and landscape. And then I came to work here, and it was almost like it all started coming back. That feeling, that
so cool.
feeling I had initially back in 1990. Again, I described this place when I got home to my husband. I go, it was like being on HGTV. I couldn't even believe it that it's right here in Saco, Maine. For me, again, city girl, going over and helping Kylee in the performance arena. The horses are way cool, and watching the barrel racing is amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's just stuff that I was never really, I got up every morning for 23 years, drove to Portland to work and drove home. And then I was like here one day and I'm like, I'm never leaving. It's awesome.
So cool. Yeah. Well, I have to ask real quick, Kylee. So the barrel racing, when will people be able to, how do people see those or how do they participate? Is that something that will happen in the spring and summertime?
So actually this winter we are like partnered with the NBHA. So that's the National Barrel Horse Association, the district here in Maine. We are District 01. So it's just like the local club. And we're doing a winter series at Riverwind.
Cool.
So we have 2 events a month and it starts at 9 a.m. and people trailer in their horses. For this winter, we've been a little bit low key just because of everything going on. So it's limited entries and, but we just had our first one last weekend. And it was just awesome to see how that's been something I've wanted to do here for a long time is horse shows, but then just how to use the space the right way. So we were kind of able to figure that out. And I put a fun show on in November. And then through that, I got connected with the Maine Barrel Horse Association and they reached out to me about doing the winter series. So it's been pretty cool. We had a good turnout for my fun show in November and had people come, and we have in the barn, there's a heated viewing room that overlooks the arena as well as a viewing deck and a downstairs deck. So we can fit a good amount of spectators in there to watch horse events and such over at the indoor and a good amount of parking. So we're hoping that in the warmer months, we'll be able to do some more of those horse events and kind of open it up and have a bigger crowd. But it's also been pretty cool to be able to keep things going throughout the winter, especially in Maine, the horse industry. It's tough in the winter as any livestock, to keep throughout the winter is twice as much work and people are looking to get out and do things. So it's been great. I know the barrel racers were really excited to be able to get off property in the winter and do something like that, which a lot of places in Maine don't offer any sort of winter series. So we're one of the only ones in the area. And I think the Maine Barrel Races Association's first ever winter series. So
that's so cool. How can people find out more about that? Can they find out on the website?
Yep. If you go to our River Winds website, there's a whole page about the equine facility and upcoming dates for those winter series events, as well as opportunities just for riding and other clinics and partnerships with other local horse clubs to be able to maybe put on more of those events.
That's great.
That is super cool. Well, thank you so much, Kylee and Gina.
Great.
We really appreciate you taking the time out of your day and talking with us. And for the folks who are listening, you need to check out Riverwinds because it is just gorgeous. Looking at the website, I was like, I can't believe I live this close to it, that I live close to something that looks that awesome. So I'll have all the links to their website and contact information in the show notes. So if you're planning an event or a wedding or a getaway or anything like that, definitely contact them because it is an incredibly gorgeous place.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for sharing about your experiences and all that. And we really appreciate it and wish you all the best success this year and in the coming years.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so
much. All right, well, have a great
happy
day.
New Year.
Yes, you too. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you again to our sponsor, Fabian Oil. Be sure to contact them for all your propane and heating oil needs using the information in the show notes. And thank you for listening.